Hello and welcome to the Baron's Game Room. I'm Aaron as always, and no need for a lengthy intro this week because I already said it in last week's video. We are going to finish up going over the Stephen Rhodes games with the second trilogy, so the sixth game. Yeah. If this is the first time you're hearing about this is the first one of these videos you caught. Stephen Rhodes is an artist, and he teamed up with Cryptozoology to make board games based on some of his little arts he's made. You can usually find t-shirts with these on it at like Spencer's, Hot Topic. This time of year, you can find them at Spirit of Halloween. But yes, we are on to the final one here, which is the Natural World Cryptozoology for Beginners. In Cryptozoology for Beginners, 2 to 4 players are playing kids on a field trip with their photo club or something like that to take pictures of, well, cryptids out in the wild, observe them and their habits and yada yada. And all that to say, this is a card drafting set collecting game with a bit of a twist. Let's open up the box. Well, I think this is easily the most complicated game of the little Stephen Rhodes collection, so that's pretty quick and easy. Just shuffle this big deck of cards, then shuffle this one, then make sure all of these little star reward tokens are all turned face down and in a pile on the table. And lastly, for the start of the game, randomly decide who's going to get this bust token and be the first player. Once you've decided who's going first, you'll start a round. Just like in last week's video, in this game you are playing through 3 rounds of the game. At the end of 3 rounds, whoever has the most points is the winner. Every round starts with the choosing assignments phase, where you will deal 2 of these blue cards to every player. Secretly, every player will look at the 2 assignments they've been given. Now, what assignments are, again, like I said, this is a set collecting game. So, these are giving you certain things to attempt to collect. Cards based on type, like Loch Ness or Mothman, or color, like, you know, there's 4 colors: blue, red, green, and yellow, I believe, for card types. So yeah, these give you certain assignments you are attempting to complete to earn points. That's the number in the stars at the bottom. You will secretly look at these 2, not let any other player see your 2 cards, decide which one you want to keep as your own private assignment, and keep that one face down in front of you. The other one that you don't want to keep, you will put to the center of the table as a public assignment. So at the end of the this phase, every player will have 1 face down card in front of them, and in a 4-player game, there should be 4 face up assignments in the center of the table that anybody can shoot to complete for the round. Once we finish dealing with our assignments, we're going to start the card drafting phase. Deal each player 8 of these cards, then each player will end up at the same time picking 1 card they want to keep from their hand, and then passing the rest of the hand to the player on their left. So let's see, my opening hand here. Boy, I just got a lot of chupacabras. We'll just go for this blue one, because that meets a couple of the public ones there. So I would take 1 card I want, keep it face down in front of me, and then slide the rest of these 7 cards off to the player to my left, who would do the same thing to their player and there. And then I would be receiving a fresh new set of 8 cards from the player to my right. Repeat this process until all cards have been drafted, so every player has a stack of 8 face down cards in front of them. And then we begin the next phase. So before going, let's go over the cards real quick. There are the 4 main types of monsters you could find in the game: cryptids, chupacabras, Sasquatch, Mothman, and Nessie. There's 2 types of each of those, or 2 of those each type. Where there's the group version of them of, again, the Calamity of Chupacabras, a Seclusion of Sasquatch, a Mystery of Mothman, or a Riddle of Nessies. Each of these comes in the 4 colors: the blue, yellow, green, and red. And then, well, pretty much every card comes in all 4 of those colors. Then you've got Monster Hunter cards. You'll see they're their own unique type as compared to the other ones, which you can see up in the top left corner. And they have their own little ability that you'll need a couple of them for. We'll go over those here in a sec. You can find these books, which in these games you only need 1 of. These are trying to things you're not collecting sets of. You want to spread these out, but if you get someone who gets stuck with a set of these, they actually end up not getting the bonus points off them. There are a couple of hybrid ones, like Freaky Flying here, which counts as both a Mothman and a Chupacabra, and Weirdo Rodeo, which counts as both a Sasquatch and a Nessie. And then lastly, there are some colorless cryptids, which do not count as any of the main types. They do not count as any of the main colors. They're their own separate little things, and for the most part, they're just here because they all have pretty good one-time use abilities when you play them out. But hey, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get on to when you would actually use any of this stuff in the next phase. Next phase, once everyone has drafted their 8 cards, you will pick them up into your hand, and now we will begin playing down cards. We're going to take turns one at a time, starting with the player with the bus here, playing down 1 card from our hand. And the full order is you can play down 1 card from your hand. Next thing you can do is activate any abilities on cards you've already played. The way that works is you'll see this is a little like tap symbol from Magic or something like that. And then this shows you the cost requirements. So to activate this Chupacabra's ability, I would need to tap 3 Chupacabra cards to do what it says. So clearly I cannot do that right away, but on a later turn when I play another card down, I could finally activate that if I wanted to. So again, we take turns one at a time, playing a card, activating their abilities, and before passing the turn on, if you play down enough cards to meet one of the assignments in the middle of the table or your own private assignment, you'll go ahead and claim that assignment. Obviously, I'm not claiming anything right here with just this Chupacabra, but we can move on. So, it comes right on my second turn, I play another card out. I play Freaky Flying, which counts as both a Mothman and a Chupacabra. So, we're almost there, but I don't have anything yet. No abilities, let's go on again. Next turn around, I play a Mothman card. That, again, I can't activate any abilities because I don't have enough Chupacabra, and these guys don't have any abilities to activate. But that means I officially can claim this card because I have two Mothman, and 2 blue cards. Yes, you can use this one to meet both requirements. It is a blue Mothman so that it covers the requirement of blue and Mothman. So I go ahead and take this card and keep it in front of me like so. And then, yeah, we keep going around the table. It's my next turn again. I'm going to play this Riddle of Nessies, which I can't do anything with. Comes right again. I'm going to play this Weirdo Rodeo. It chances both a Nessie and a Sasquatch, and I believe that means I can now complete my private one, which is 2 Nessies and 2 Mothmen. Yes, I use these 2 Mothmen for this one. That doesn't matter. I can still also use it for this one. So there we go. I've completed another assignment. Everything goes around again. I play the book. Everything goes around again. I play the Jersey Devil. Sorry, I forgot. When I played this second one, I also could have at any time started activating this ability because it costs 2 Nessies. So if I wanted to activate this ability, I could tap both of those sideways and then do this ability, which is look at the top 2 cards of the crypto deck, draw 1, and discard the other, which I actually don't want to do. So we're going to leave that there. Because I want to do... I set this up wrong. It doesn't matter. Play Jersey Devil. I can immediately tap into this one's ability, draw 4 cards, and put 1 in your hand, then randomly add 1 to each other player's hand, discard the rest. So, I can do that. My last card I have here is this Monster Hunter, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure... Yeah, I kind of messed this up. Don't worry. I was trying to show you some stuff. So let's say if I played that a little differently and successfully ended up getting these 2 cards added to my hand. I can still play those out. You keep going until players have played all cards in their hand. So let's imagine I successfully got these 2 added to my hand through the power of Nessie's ability and the power of the Jersey Devil. I could then play down that one on a later turn. That means I have enough to tap and activate their ability, which is to gain a new assignment. So I would just draw a top card, and this is my new private assignment that I could attempt to complete later. And when I play this one, I officially now have 3 Chupacabra in front of me, so I could finally tap and activate that ability as well. Discarding any card in play, its owner draws a card. But all that to show that I end up playing more to my 8 down because there are ways to draw more cards as you play, which means it is possible for some players to actually run out of cards before others. So let's go over that real quick. If on your turn you don't have any more cards in your hand, then you are out of the round. You don't get to play any more cards down, you can't activate any more abilities, you are only allowed to activate abilities if you play down a card that turn. So if you don't have any more cards to play down, then you can't activate any more abilities. However, if you earn a card, maybe through some other player's effects later in the round, you can now rejoin turn order, play that card down, and activate abilities again. Otherwise, you go until all players have played their cards down, and we go into the final phase of a round. So we finally hit the end of the round, everyone's played all their cards. Now we activate any end of round abilities. Some assignments can have some end of round abilities, some cards can have some end of round abilities. For example, the Mothman card here at the end of the round. If you have the most Mothman, gain 1 star. We'll say, for example, I did have the most Mothman, which means I would get to take one of these star reward chips. I can look at it, I can see how many points it's worth, but I don't want to show everyone else, so I want to keep it face down in front of me. So, those are points I now have earned, and we'll have at the end of the game, but no player quite knows what I have. They only can see how many points I've earned from my finished assignments. So, every player knows I have at least 7 points, but I could have another, I think, 3 to 6 points under this. They're not totally sure. I've also done this one at the end of the round. If you have only 1 book, gain a star. I definitely am the only person to have only 1 book, so I'll take another one of these face down stars and look at it, and then there is some more secret points for me. Anyway, once you're done doing any of that end of round stuff, it's time to get ready for the next round. First off, you're going to discard away all of these cards in front of you, unless some card allows you to keep it. There are some assignments that allow you to keep cards in front of the end of the round. They might say, you know, keep any 1 card or keep 1 Sasquatch in front of you at the end of the round. And you can do that now. But otherwise, if you don't have anything that lets you keep them, take all the cards from every player, discard them away to the center of the table. Take any unfinished public assignments and discard them away. However, if you have any uncompleted private assignments, you keep these. So you can try and complete these throughout the entire game. Any private assignment is yours, and it stays yours until you complete it or the game ends. But the public ones go away, and then it's time for a new round. Just end up doing this phase again, dealing 2 of these to every player, where they'll keep 1 and put 1 in the middle. Deal out 8 more of those, and then do it all again. Like I said earlier, it's 3 rounds of doing all that, and then whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. Super simple. So once you've gone through drafting your 8 cards, playing them out, getting your points and all that 3 different times, you will then look up all the points you have from your completed assignments. You don't get any points for non-completed assignments, obviously. Come on, guys. We play games. We know what's going on here. And then, of course, you'll finally flip over all of those star coins you've been collecting and get points for all those. Whoever has the most points in the game wins. One thing I did forget to mention, at the start of a new round, the first player marker, the bus, goes to whoever has the fewest visible points. Obviously, we can't count the face down ones, but looking at the completed assignments, whoever has the fewest points from completed assignments is the first player of the next round. If there's a tie, then whoever has the fewest points and the fewest little reward tokens. You don't look at how many points are on them, you just see who has the fewest. If you have 3 of them and I have 2 of them, I have fewer than you, even if your 3 actually don't add up to as many points as mine. We don't know that yet. Anyway, let's get on. Cryptozoology for beginners is, funny enough, not for beginners, not in my opinion at least. If you want a game of this style for beginners, go play Sushi Go. That absolutely is for beginners. At least there are setups you can play that are very beginner friendly and all that. But Cryptozoology for beginners, I do think it's a fun game. It's just a little bit to keep track of and can be a little complicated, especially for younger players. My daughter, she's a teen now, but when we first got the game a few years ago, she was 10 or 11 or so, and it definitely took a little bit for her to understand. Heck, it took some of my friends a little bit to understand fully what's going on in the game. It could be a little hard to prep for. The basics of it are simple enough. It's just getting sets of matching types or colors, sure, but it's where all the abilities come in that can kind of hard from there. It's not a hard game, it's just harder than some other games, I think, of the same genre type. Again, I think if you really want a beginner-friendly version of this card drafting thing, go get Sushi Go. Can't recommend Sushi Go enough for any sort of casual gamers at all. That game is great. Sushi Go Party is what you should be getting because it gives you just so much extra variety. You don't just get the main menu, you get several different types of cards you can mix in and out. This one's going to be the same each time, but the assignment cards, I said it was a twist because I do think the assignment cards make it a little better than just the standard, these always score this way and that way. So, because you never know quite what people have in their hands, so you don't always know what kind of ones people are going for. You can see the ones in the middle and know, oh, if I don't grab this, then they might take it for what they're for one of those, but you don't know what they're going for in the middle. I do like the little mystery reward tokens. Those can be a fun, haha, at the end of the game when you realize someone has collected a few really high point reward tokens. I love the theme, of course. Obviously, all these Steven Rhodes games are going to get a plus from me on the art and the theming and all that. It's great. I love cryptids and I love all this fantastic art and everything. I do think there's a lot of good humor into it, and there really can be a lot of strategy in that playing out cards phase of the game. So, I do think it's a good game. I just think, funnily enough, by its name, I wouldn't really call it a game for beginners. It's a simple, fun concept with some strategic depth in its implementation. Obviously, I go and say the art looks great and all that. I think if you are someone that likes stuff like Sushi Go and wants a little darker theme, or something that might has a little more depth to it than that, while it may not be for beginners, Cryptozoology, I think, is for people who want to play a fun game. Cryptozoology for beginners is fair and approved.